What up guys, it's Dragon Ball for Life here today and I'm back with another video. Now today's video we're going to be reacting to Death Battles Sephiroth versus Vergil. Now I mentioned in my last video, which I did a reaction of Dante versus, I forgot what her name is from, Bayonetta, yeah. Dante versus Bayonetta. I mentioned in that video that I was going to be reacting to this one, and surprisingly that one had a good amount of views. I didn't expect that. I mean, I felt like that video wasn't that great because I really didn't say anything in the video, only in the beginning and towards the end, because there wasn't really much input I could put into it. Hopefully this one isn't the same. It is 21 minutes long, so hopefully there's a lot more information for me to get into. Like I stated before, I don't know enough about the Devil May Cry series to say anything about their feats being true or not. I can obviously talk about more about power scaling and how it works and the consistency of it, but I don't really know enough about them, so I was really quiet, just trying to hear, you know, more of the story and, you know, more of their feats because I didn't know enough. But Sephiroth, I actually know a little bit about him. I did play Final Fantasy VII, the remake. I know there's the part 2 coming out, and I want to play that one too, but I have heard some stuff, and I did make a video talking about, you know, his power, because he stated to be, you know, a soul system buster, so I talked about that. Now before I get into the video, I want to give a big shout out to a new subscriber of mine by the name of Chicken Plays. Big thank you to Chicken Plays. I mentioned that I've been a year into YouTube and I've been trying to get my YouTube channel to get better and better, because obviously I want to hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, hit the 4,000 watch hours, so I can actually get monetized from these videos and stuff, and I can do sponsorship deals and do all this other stuff. So I'm trying to reach to that. I don't want to tell any of you guys to like, share, comment, and subscribe, because, you know, like when you go to a YouTube channel, you're expecting to do that anyway. There's no point of me banging that into your head over and over and over again. Like some of these YouTubers, they do it and it's like, they know shoving it up their ass more is not gonna, you know, make them do it. So if you would like to, you know, subscribe to this channel, if you would like to, you know, like it, comment, and share it with other people, that would be very helpful. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. So yeah, let's get into this.
Through the millennia, legends were passed of a source of unlimited energy, the Promised Land. Unfortunately, all hope of finding this sacred ground had been lost, until the Shinra Electric Power Company excavated the remains of a being believed to hail from the very land they sought.
They called this weird naked purple lady Genova and thought that if they could bring her back to life, she could help them find the Promised Land. But apparently, they just didn't have any Phoenix Downs.
If they couldn't resurrect a being who could lead them to the Promised Land, Shinra decided they would simply create their own. After many experiments infusing Genova's cells with those of a human's, they finally found their savior. His name was Sephiroth.
With hair like that, it's no wonder he was created in a lab. Look at how majestic that mane is.
According to Final Fantasy lore, Sephiroth has to use an entire bottle of shampoo and conditioner every single time he bathes.
Why do you know that? Did you join his fan club or something?
For research. But Shinra wasn't interested in Sephiroth for his hair. Instead, he was an essential part of their soldier program.
Wait, this electric company has their own private military? I'd hate to miss a payment with those guys, especially if they sent Seph after me. I mean, look at the ridiculously long sword he keeps with him. That's his Masamune. This 7'2" behemoth of a blade is a lot like the Nodachi swords they used back in feudal Japan. But instead of wielding something long with 2 hands like those, Sephiroth only needs 1.
Even that speaks nothing of his effectiveness as a warrior.
Yeah, you know when people spread legends of someone, they usually make him out to be even better than he really is? It's the total opposite with Sephiroth.
With his superhuman speed, strength, and durability, Sephiroth was instrumental in ensuring Shinra's victory in the Wutai War, conquering the last free nation on the planet. He returned home a legend.
But all those warm, fuzzy feelings of victory didn't last long. While on a mission to the town of Nibelheim, Sephiroth found a bunch of books on the Genova project. That's when he discovered he was a secret science project the whole time.
The truth crushed Sephiroth and drove him mad. In a rage, he annihilated Nibelheim, but was stopped by a mercenary named Cloud Strife. Sephiroth was impaled by the Buster Sword and fell to his death.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. Which is what I would have said if Sephiroth hadn't dropped into a hole in the ground that led him to the giant Windows screensaver called the live stream.
The life stream is a buried river of energy which basically maintains life across the planet. Normally, merging with the life stream is the equivalent of entering the afterlife, but not for Sephiroth.
And this is where things get weird, so buckle up. Still conscious, Sephiroth's essence floated through the life stream for years until he absorbed enough energy to rebuild his body. With the energy of the life stream, he can control other beings with Jenova cells.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the story because usually my other ones I mainly focus on the power itself, but I don't know enough about these characters and I want to learn more. I did play the remake of Final Fantasy VII, and it's an amazing game, but I did feel like it kind of started off in a point where, you know, it started off in a weird point where there was already story and lore, and I'm guessing like in the second game we're gonna get a little more about the backstory, but it felt like there was some backstory there that we just passed. Whereas from what they're showing from the original game, it seems like they start off from the beginning and showing it, and you know, because they did show like Cloud having some problems with Sephiroth. I didn't know that he was. I knew he had some genetically altered thing, but I didn't know why he was so evil or why he turned evil. But it makes sense of you know you were lied and manipulated your whole life and just used. And by an evil corporation like that, it makes sense why he would, you know, turn messed up. But it's crazy how Cloud took him down. You would think that a super soldier that was created with, you know, such a, you know, powerful being like that wouldn't be getting hurt or taken down by somebody like Cloud. Even though Cloud is very powerful, I'm surprised that Cloud could take him down. He just seems like a regular, like, you know, mercenary. I mean, not regular as in the sense of regular, but regular as in the sense of he doesn't seem like he's like some mutation like him, like he was created specifically. So I'm surprised. And I guess naturally he would have been destroyed, but the fact that he fell down there and absorbed that energy, that means that Sephiroth's power mainly comes from the energy source itself that he's drawing his power from, not from his regular life. Because his regular power was weaker than Cloud, unless if maybe Cloud got you know, a sneak attack on him, which it kind of looked like that. But the regular version doesn't seem that strong until he absorbs the energy, and I'm guessing they're gonna bring out the more crazy and outlandish feats from him, and maybe also the whole soul system thing, which I definitely want to get into and I want to talk about it. So let's get back into it.
Including the corpse of Jenova, who he manipulated to make this attack to equal nearly 1,600 tons of force.
Sephiroth can use that wicked sword to stab and lift wannabe heroes by their ribcage, slice through skyscrapers, and shoot energy beams that can shred these huge Mako cannons. And from the life stream, Sephi figured out he could create new bodies or even take on other forms.
These forms greatly resemble certain creatures found in Christian and Jewish mythology.
He certainly looks the part when he goes into his ultimate form.
Regardless, Sephiroth does possess a single black wing, a blatant symbol of his fall from grace.
So basically Final Fantasy does everything it can to not be subtle. Just like Sephiroth's most devastating attack, Supernova, which decimates an entire solar system. Wait, if Seph is that powerful, how does anyone ever beat him?
Don't get the wrong idea here. There's a lot of debate over how Supernova actually works, but I think it's pretty clear that Sephiroth isn't creating the explosion himself. Rather, he's transporting his foes to a specific point in time within an alternate dimension.
Careful, Wiz, don't sell him short.
Just look at it. When he uses the attack, reality literally crumbles away like glass. This is identical to the animation for certain summoned creatures. According to the official Crisis Core Complete Guide, summons draw their targets into their own space in order to...
Before I let this go on, I want to say about the angel symbolism. Sephiroth is like basically a synonym for the word Sephiroth, or Sephram. I forgot how to pronounce it, but it's basically the highest ranking for angels. There's different rankings for angels. There's cherubim. There's the what's the thing called? There's the archangels, but those are basically just like class warriors that they have, select few. But yeah, they have different classes, and the seraphim. Yeah, that's what it's called. Seraphim, they're the highest order of angels. So Sephiroth, Seraphim, he gets it directly from there. If you play the Doom Eternal games, you fight against the angels that are the Seraphim, and I think the newest Doom game. So they're basically off that angel thing. Now about the whole soul system thing, there is quite a bit of a debate. So he's saying, because some people stated that he has soul system busting power. And their argument is no. Well, from Wiz's standpoint, it's he doesn't have soul system busting power. What he did was transport them to a place where this was happening. But it's like it showed, you know, Jupiter and stuff like that. That would be that Earth. So like what? Also, how could you, you know, what event is gonna do that? Like, it's not a supernova. That does not look like a supernova at all. So it just seems weird that he's saying he's summoning them to a different place. But I do have an explanation for that, but I'll wait towards the end and their analysis.
To attack, and this is no different. In the Dissidia fighting games, Sephiroth goes for the civil approach and opens a dimensional hole to the explosion. The attack is even described as sending destruction even into other dimensions. And if he could summon planet-busting meteors at will, why did he go through so much trouble to get the black materia, which literally summons meteors?
That would explain why the supernova doesn't hurt him. He's not really there, just using those illusion powers of his. With all these powers, I can't believe Cloud and friends were able to take him down.
He's not invincible, but he's damn powerful. Ever persistent, Sephiroth departed with a final, chilling promise.
I will never be a memory.
Why does he sound so bored?
2,000 years ago, a great mutiny transpired in the underworld. The demon warrior Sparta rebelled against his evil master, Mundus. To protect the world, Sparta did his best to seal the connection between Hell and Earth.
But then Sparta got lonely, or maybe it was just a sausage fest in there. Either way, he snuck out of hell long enough to knock up this chick named Eva, and she popped out a couple of awesome demon slayers. Nice choice.
You may remember the younger of the two, Dante.
Oh yeah, he fought that witch chick with the hair.
But the eldest and potentially deadliest brother was the one and only Vergil.
Vergil and Dante were rivals from birth. Dante was a goofball. Vergil was serious. Dante hated his being a demon, and Vergil loved it. It's that classic odd couple scenario.
But then one fateful day, in an act of vengeance against the late Sparta, a group of rogue demons separated the two brothers and killed their mother. Vergil was believed to be dead. But in reality, Vergil survived and set out on his own path to seek his father's immense power for himself.
And he's 100% equipped to be a butt-kicking demon slayer just like his pops. As a half-demon, Vergil can jump several times his own height, move at supersonic speeds, and heal himself quickly, kind of like that Wolverine guy. He can tough out getting stabbed through the lungs, intestines, the heart, body parts I'm pretty sure most people need.
Not if my experiment has anything to say about it.
You say something, Wiz?
I said not if Vergil's abilities have anything to say about it.
Well, sadly, for any human demon or human demon who gets in his way, Vergil also happens to carry some extra deadly weapons on hand, including a spiffy katana called Tomato.
Yamato.
It's said that this sword can cut through anything, even dimensions, and probably tomatoes. Actually, Yamato is the exact thing Sparta used to seal hell from Earth in the first place.
Vergil's sword-fighting prowess draws from his Dark Slayer fighting style, which emphasizes teleportation, lightning-quick movements, and even quicker slashes straight from the sheath. This technique is directly influenced by Iai Jutsu, the real-life Japanese art of the quick draw. And thanks to Vergil's demonic powers,
I like how they made like an anime when they do this and then it just cuts multiple times. So with his teleportation, that's definitely a big one-up. Because Sephiroth, they said I'm guessing they're going to put them more around the same speed, you know, hypersonic or whatever. Or maybe supersonic from the way they were sounding. But he could teleport, so that will give him definitely a big advantage. The sword also cutting through dimensions, so even if like they say whether it's an illusion or him going through dimensions, which I think it was interesting that they mentioned that it might be an illusion, the power, instead of it just being straight up, you know, a supernova busting ability. But if it is him transporting to another dimension or it's an illusion, it doesn't matter, because with the sword that can cut through dimensions, he could possibly cut through him. Now, the cutting through dimensions thing is nothing new. We've seen this in like Yu Yu Hakusho with Kuwabara. He had the light energy sword thingy that can cut through dimensions. We've seen throughout many, you know, animes where they have abilities where they can cut through dimensions, especially now with Captain Yami from what's the called? Black Clover. Yeah, Captain Yami from Black Clover. So we've seen that characters, you know, break out of dimensions and stuff, and it is still highly powerful, but cutting through a dimension with a specific sword isn't too crazy. But it doesn't matter about that. It matters about the fact that he has this thing that can cut through the thing. Like, you know, if he tries to transport them to a dimension, he can do that. Now, I'm gonna just say for right now, I think Death Battle's gonna choose Sephiroth over Vergil. But from what I've seen about like the feats and stuff, I would definitely put Vergil above him. But Death Battle doesn't always do things the correct way. Also, from what I've seen in the last video, and what I'm seeing now in this one, they have been downplaying their power because from what I've seen from Ivan the Unstoppable's video and from your guys' explanation, these characters should be beyond universal level and stuff and light speed. Yet these guys are putting them on way lower levels. They don't even mention them at planet level or light speed. So it is interesting that they put them a lot lower. In a feats, because usually Screwtax is very well known for over exaggerating characters' powers and overdoing it, and now they're underselling them. And maybe it's because this was like 5 or 6 years old, so it's a lot older of analysis, but I don't know. I feel like their analysis is kind of weird, but I do like the fact this matchup between Vergil and Sephiroth. I think they have a lot of similar qualities that match up.
He can attack so fast the blade seems invisible.
Yeah, the only thing better than fighting with one sword is fighting with 8. With Vergil's ghostly summoned swords, he can turn himself into a living Beyblade, fire them like a machine gun, or make it rain!
Blades may be Vergil's bread and butter, but if he needs to focus on brute strength, he switches to Beowulf.
He can charge up blink of an eye punches and kicks that hit like a cement truck made of lead and KO some of the toughest demons in just a few hits. And hey, looks like he digs Street Fighter.
There's one more trick up Vergil's sleeve. Thanks to his demon blood, he can access a form known as Devil Trigger. And this mode amplifies everything.
His strength, speed, and healing all get a huge boost, making him several times deadlier than before. Plus, he just looks badass.
In his quest to become as powerful as his father, Vergil's abilities skyrocketed. He's taken down dozens of demons in the blink of an eye, and escaped an illusion from the sorcerer Arkham, which makes normal people go crazy.
But if anything's gonna show off what a son of Sparta can really do, it's pitting him against his bro. Sure, Vergil can easily avoid Dante's bullets, but why dodge them when you can spin your sword, line them all up, and fire them back? Like a boss.
In the same battle, they briefly created a 12-foot diameter open space in a heavy rainstorm with nothing but their sword swings. On average, storms can fill a cubic foot space with as many as 30 raindrops. So, Vergil and Dante must have destroyed 108,000 raindrops in less than a second.
If Vergil can swing his sword that fast, I bet he'd make a killing mowing lawns, or chopping meat at the deli, or giving haircuts, or doing that thing where he chops bad guys to pieces so fast they don't even realize they're dead yet. Like when he fought Beowulf. The monster, not the weapon. And then he punched him so hard he flew 55 feet up and hit the ceiling.
When comparing Beowulf's size to Vergil, he appears to be as large as an elephant. Given what's available, this seems like our best measure of Vergil's strength, but there is one issue. The Devil May Cry series makes frequent use of slow motion to depict the absurdity of these characters, and this could be a similar case.
So let's look at another slow-mo feat, the rainstorm fight.
At one point, the rain freezes in place for about 2.5 seconds, as Vergil and Dante keep moving, indicating a 14,500% speed increase in real time. Applying the same degree to the Beowulf punch gives us an acceleration speed of about 4,882 feet per second. With that in mind, we can apply our previous data to deduce the maximum height sans ceiling, and determine Vergil's striking strength to be nearly 720 million newtons of force.
That's a lot!
It matches Vergil's incredible toughness, too.
We already mentioned his super healing factor, but it's even more overpowered than you think. Vergil once got completely cut in half, but healed so fast that it's impossible to even notice.
And his regeneration ability can be worn down.
Yeah, that's how this weird jester guy beat him.
But it takes a lot to pull off, and Vergil can always just use Yamato to hop through dimensions to get away if he wants.
Sadly, Vergil never got to rule the demon realm like he wanted.
Instead, the Demon King Mundus permanently transformed Vergil into his puppet, irreversibly manipulating his mind in the process.
And then Dante kind of, exploded him. But 1 or 2 losses against someone who's basically goddamn Satan hardly makes him a weakling.
Hell and earth trembles before the power of Vergil.
It'll be fun to fight with the Prince of Darkness. If my father did it, I should be able to do it too.
Okay, I'm going to skip the battle, like I said, and get into the final analysis. And then once when I get into the final analysis and hear what they say, I will start giving my opinion on what I was mentioning earlier. But before I get into this, I was kind of leaning more towards them saying Sephiroth. But from what they were showing with Vergil, I think they're going to go with him. He had more strength. He could teleport. They were showing more of his insane speed. They were showing that he can cut through dimensions. And they were arguing that, hey, Sephiroth's ability isn't really a supernova, more like him transporting them there, or a bit of an illusion on top of it. And he can cut through dimensions, which they mentioned, which will negate that fact. And then also the fact that they also mentioned that one of the guys used an illusion power on him and he was able to look through it. Now, once again, I like to explain the fact that I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree with Death Battle's analysis on Vergil's strength still, because even though they've used some obvious, those are obvious feats and they count, but for a lot of you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys know that they have more insane feats in the series than just that. And it seems like they're using more of the low-end feats and kind of using the same feats again. They're acting like there's not that many that they can pick from, and these are the only select few. I'm feeling there's a lot more, but yeah, I was just assuming they were going to make Sephiroth win because I thought they were assuming that he was like, a soul system buster, or going to argue, well, he might not be, but this is still a soul system busting feat. Maybe, who knows? And also with his transformation ability where he gets to amplify all of his other attributes at once, that can also give him a significant win. So yeah, let's skip to the end.
KO! Extra crispy.
These two were extremely powerful swordsmen, but Sephiroth's cunning and stronger abilities led to his victory.
Wait a minute, I thought the lore said Vergil's sword could cut through anything. Why didn't it cut through Sephiroth's sword?
Yamato was a unique weapon, but its legend clearly exaggerated. On multiple occasions, it's clashed with Dante's blade and even a common rocket launcher without cutting through either, and sometimes requires an exuberant amount of force to cut through tougher material. But let's discuss the real facts.
Like strength. So Vergil with Beowulf could do 720 million newtons, right? But there aren't a lot of good Sephi strength feats to compare.
First, let's compare Sephiroth to a fellow first-class member of the soldier fighting force, who had also been experimented on with Genova cells, Zack Fair.
Remember him? He's the knot cloud guy who fought that dragon.
At his peak, Zack could cut through a large metal door with one swing, seemingly with most of his strength. Given the size and width of the door, this feat's sheer strength comes out to 980 million newtons.
And Seph was way stronger than Zack. In fact, if we look at their strength stats when they fought that dragon, Sephiroth was 3.5 times stronger than Zack.
Putting Sephiroth's strength output at over 3 billion newtons. That's almost as much force as 30 Hiroshima bombs.
Strength isn't everything, though. Vergil was technically faster than Sephi, but Sephiroth has handled people of similar speeds before. Plus, Sephiroth could survive plenty of hits because his healing power is broken.
The capabilities of Vergil's healing factor was nearly unprecedented, but it had its limits. In contrast, Sephiroth's healing abilities were only limited by his pool of magic, which was unlimited.
Well, he also had to take some time to cast each healing spell, but that's why he distracted Vergil with his illusions.
We know Vergil was susceptible to illusionary and mental attacks, as it's happened to him multiple times and even led to his in-canon demise.
And Sephiroth's illusions could hide his ultimate technique. Yeah, Vergil's healing was pretty awesome, but it was never gonna hold up under an exploding sun to the face.
Vergil put up a good fight, but he couldn't match Sephiroth's superior strength, magic.
I'm gonna let them finish, actually. Never mind this. I'm gonna let them finish, and then I'm gonna get into what I wanted to talk about, because I expected they're gonna go that direction, but I will say this: I was wrong. I thought Sephiroth they were gonna make. At first, I thought they're gonna make Sephiroth win, but then I thought Vergil, because they're showing more of his feats, and they did mention he was stronger, but then they now switched up to, oh no, he has this, and that's one thing I don't like about them is they don't reveal all the feats right away. They say hold it back. And then they have like some feats that puts the other person above, and then the ending analysis is like, oh yeah, and this additional feat gave them an edge over there. Because before that, Vergil had a far more edge and strength, and then they went to him. Also, I don't know how because their calculation of his strength and power is him cutting through a giant thick door with one swing, and Sephiroth being 3.5 times stronger than him. How did that equivalent to 30 Hiroshima bombs? Because a nuke would wipes out a city. Those bombs were wiping out a city, and this is 30 times that. How does he get to that level? How was, because it was like 3.5 times, that would be around like 10 times, a Hiroshima bomb when, the other guy broke through the door. How is that even equal? That doesn't make any sense. But I'll let them finish and then I'll get everything else out that I want to say.
Magic and techniques.
Looks like this devil.
So that was Death Battles, Sephiroth versus Vergil. I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree because I've seen a lot of you guys talking about these guys are universal level, and they didn't mention anything close to universal level, and if that was the case, taking a sun to the face would be nothing and completely beat that out. Also, it's weird that they're saying that he's just transporting like ability and then he has illusion, but then they're saying, oh no, it's soul system level. And I want to talk about that, but I do want to, like I said, get into some of the other stuff. From the strength department, the power stuff, I do not know how they do their math or their calculations, but how do you get from that calculation of, that guy breaking down a door and then Sephiroth being 3.5 times stronger equals his power and his destructive output to 30 Hiroshima bombs equal to that? Where did he get that from? I don't get that logic. With the cutting through dimensions thing, okay, I'll admit that the sword can't cut through everything. It did show it can't cut through all this other stuff. It's not like it can cut through everything, but it can still cut through dimensions. So, it's probably an ability of the sword itself, but still, that should help him out against that other thing. Also, the whole... now we'll get into that because they didn't go to too much analysis and stuff like that in this. But let's talk about Sephiroth's attack being a soul system busting thing. I actually made a video on this while back on my channel talking about Sephiroth's abilities and powers and debunking it. And in my debunk, I mentioned, because I looked at other web forums and other people who were not only big fans of Final Fantasy but knew about the character and had analysis and stuff. And from what I've seen from them was their argument, even the community itself agrees that Sephiroth is not a soul system level being. The soul system thing was actually an illusion. The whole, with him bringing the meteor down to destroy the Earth, that was actually a part of the story. But the soul system thing, that was only in a cutscene. When you play the game, there's cutscenes from like special moves and ultimate moves, and one of his ultimate move is that one, and it just comes out and it destroys the soul system. But after it's done, usually when games they have the cutscenes, it just goes back to normal. But that was never present in the in the story at all. The only thing that was present was the meteor, and that kind of contradicts it. If you're telling me that he required all of his power and this energy system that he needed to create this, bring this asteroid to destroy the Earth and absorb the energy, that doesn't make any sense. How does it take all your power and to create this crazy power energy source to drop a meteor to destroy the Earth? How do you go from that to being able to launch out a solar system busting attack or a star level attack? That doesn't make any sense. The fact that he can just do that, and like I said, that was actually a part of the game. Game story, but the other one was just a cutscene. If you play the game and he uses attack moves, he uses that countless times and it's just just goes away. So it really doesn't pertain to the story itself. So it's not really canon. And also, from what people are saying, it's just an illusion. Like they stated, he has extreme illusion powers. He can create scenarios that are illusions. He's done one where he goes through the outer space. With them talking about the breaking apart stuff, that's just an illusion. It's kind of weird because they mentioned that it was an illusion, but then they're also saying it's not an illusion. From what I'm seeing, and in my video, it was definitively an illusion because it was just one of those cutscene things in the middle of the fights. You can't really use that accurately in a fight. They kind of did the same thing with Kirby, where Kirby has like some feats that he does in the games, and those are from like little cutscene thingies from like moves, and then everything was back to normal, but it had nothing to do with the story itself. So it's not really consistent, and it can be contradicted easily. So no, do I think Sephiroth is a soul system buster? No. Do I think he's star level? No. I think the highest his power is being able to summon meteors to destroy the Earth or destroy the surface of the Earth, wiping out all life, and then absorbing the energy. I think that's where it'll cap off. And from what I've seen from Vergil and Dante, they're universal or beyond universal. I don't know if I can say that they're, as powerful as a lot of people say they are, but at least they are on those levels and well above, Sephiroth's level of power. And Sephiroth's power, like I said, his supernova attack is just an illusion because there's no real damage it does there. And let's just think logically. We have Cloud, we have these other guys. Cloud is, he's strong enough to beat him. He's strong enough to handle him. Are you gonna tell me that Cloud is, a soul system buster? From what we've seen in their fights, there doesn't show anything that, accurately, consistently goes with that. Whereas with Vergil and Dante's thing, it was mentioned in the story. From what Ivan the Unstoppable showed, even one of the writers stated it. So the writers confirmed it on Twitter multiple times. It's shown in the story multiple times and in the lore books. Them having that power. So it's consistently brought up. Whereas Sephiroth's one is the only time you see it is literally in in an in-between fighting cutscene thing that doesn't really pertain to the story at all. So I wouldn't go with that. I think that was a complete terrible analysis right there. That was one thing I was going to focus on. I was like, are they going to go with it or not? So I was kind of holding off on it until towards the end and see what their explanation is. So I disagree with that explanation. I think Vergil should easily beat Sephiroth. Sephiroth's a cool character. I think he's dope. I liked him, but I don't think he's that powerful, and I wouldn't consider him soul system level buster character. And I think that move that he did is just purely an illusion, and we've seen that it wouldn't work against somebody like Vergil. And let's just think logically. Are you telling me that honestly Cloud and these other guys are these mercenary guys that are, and most could be superhuman levels of strength, are on that level? No, I don't think so. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next time.